Welcome back to the Common Man's channel, and today we're going to be reviewing the Odyssey. A lot of controversy surrounding this one, but the Common Man has finally seen it, and we'd love to give our opinion. And yeah, pretty excited about this one, Prime Maz, because we've been waiting a while to see it, and we've finally seen it over the weekend in IMAX. And what are some initial spoiler-free thoughts?
First of all, yeah, welcome. The anticipation was pretty big with us. Hey, Shanty. It was long awaited, and it was the first time I actually saw a movie in IMAX. Um, so yeah, I was definitely looking forward to it, and to be honest, it exceeded all expectations in my point of view. What about yourself?
Well, maybe my expectations were a bit higher because I actually, well, we were both familiar with the source material. It fell a bit flat in some places, but I think it's definitely worth a watch, especially if you're able to see it in IMAX. We saw it in the digital IMAX, not the film one, the rare version. But yeah, definitely go see it out to the theaters. You need to go. So from now on, it will be spoiler filled. And let's dive into sort of how they did the plot, Prime Maz. So we were really looking forward to this one, and I think they nailed a lot of the themes of like, yep, they've focused a lot on sort of Zeus's law, so a bit of justice there, treating others with respect and stuff like that. They mentioned that quite a bit throughout the film. I liked that angle that they took. Um,
Mm.
but in sort of grounding it in that theme, they sort of lost a lot of the sort of big epic moments from the actual source material itself. So that's what I thought.
Pretty much was a venture, it was a quest to get home. As for those who actually know the Odyssey, we all are aware of that. But for the people who are um curious about the review and curious whether it's worth watching, yeah, the themes are pretty much just quest. It's Christopher Nolan's adaptation of Homer's Odyssey. Let's just say it, put it that way. It's not going to be, script for script, line by line from, Homer's take on it. So in that sense, I did understand some of the avenues Christopher Nolan was going through. Not really replicating a lot of what we kind of anticipated or expected, but I don't know. It kind of exceeded expectations, maybe because I was really immersed in the IMAX um, world of that kind of theater mode.
Very fair, and I think yeah, exactly. It was a quest. It was a they nailed the homecoming aspect. They really harkened on that aspect of the original story, and yeah, some maybe some missteps might be like that. For example, they didn't have some of the gods appearing in human form as much, so that we only got Athena. They had to find a way to put Zendaya in the fucking movie, so we got Athena in human form, and none of the other guys. So we didn't really get to see any of their interactions. I know in the original story he also interacts with Hermes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there wasn't really much of that, and so yeah, like I said before, I think it loses a bit of that sort of the mythology and like the epicness of it when you're trying to ground it so much. And like we can say the same for like Batman, but Batman when he did the Dark Knight, I think it's like much easier to do that grounded because like the guy has no superpowers, so you can adapt that pretty easily.
Yeah, true. It is true because yeah, I get what you're saying. Like Nolan chose that aspect of, you know what, let's really keep it grounded. In the sense of it is a mythological ancient Greece world, but it's it's very grounded in the sense you don't really see as many gods as you would like. Just Athena, but you don't see any human powers or anything like that. In a sense, you only see the presence of, say, Poseidon with the wrath of the ocean,
Yeah,
rocking his boat. Um, and the wrath of Zeus just with thunderstorms.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. But then here's the interesting part. So once you decide to do all that, and then when there's parts that actually require some sort of epic mythological fiction, for example, the
Mhm.
Scylla, who's supposed to be the six-headed beast that kills six of them
Yeah.
when they're walking across. I was like, what the fuck is that? That's like you're not even. That's just CGI. Well, I don't know if it's CGI, but it looked like shit. And they just
Yeah.
like it's some random tarantula-looking thing out of the side of the rock. So I'm like,
Oh,
you
it just
can't have
felt
your
like a
cake and
crack.
eat it too, Nolan. What are you doing?
Yeah, it was just like tentacles kind of
Yeah,
thing. And I guess that's where he's drawn the line to say, yep, let's just keep it grounded then. But, you are in a world of just mythological creatures and witches and giants. So, I don't know. Interesting decisions.
I don't know. One key difference that you didn't like too much was the Nobody saga
Yeah,
with the Cyclops.
I was waiting for it. That's the only. We're up to the part where, obviously Odysseus is going to blind him and then, say his name's Nobody so that the giant can convince his other giant comrades to open up the wall as he shouted, Nobody is in here. That didn't happen. So I was a bit disappointed in that, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, I guess it takes away from that getting an eye into sort of what makes Odysseus so like intelligent and sort
Yeah.
of cunning.
But there were like key decisions that he told his crewmen right before, just going, nah, we'll do it this way because X, Y, and Z, So there was a bit of him showing his intelligence and
Mm,
leadership. Um, but yeah, not, I guess that was the most prominent one.
yeah, 100%. All right, well, let's move into some of the direction from Mr. Nolan himself. So, Prime Maz, what do you reckon about the overall pacing of the film? For me personally, I can see it dragged a bit. I think we were going from scene to scene without much sort of nothing really driving us there, and like the build up wasn't as hype as I needed it to be for the end personally. But what did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was dragging in some sense, but overall, I thought for what was it, a 3 hour movie, it kind of, for me, it felt like a two and a half, and a standard Nolan film in a way, which I give him credit because the whole story of the Odyssey, it takes place for how long is it? It's
It's 10
more than
years.
10 years, is it?
Yeah, so it's 10 years on the beaches of Troy and then 10 years to get back. So 20 years
So yeah,
overall.
it was 10 years, give or take. Um, I thought the scenes were well crafted in a sense of how he's finding himself getting back on his quest. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was more engaging. It was like each scene, it definitely felt like it wasn't out of place. It was definitely in place, but some in the middle were were dragging a bit.
Yeah, maybe that was assisted by some of the bland performances, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
for the most
Ah,
part, the
yeah.
practical effects were fantastic. Like, if you want practical done right, Nolan's one of the few that can actually, get the funding for it and execute it correctly. Like the scenes, like the soundscapes inside the cave, some of the boat scenes were super visceral. Yeah, you could tell everything was sort of
Suspenseful too.
really real.
The cave, the
Yeah.
cave scene was pretty suspenseful. Hey, it felt like you were in there,
Yeah, it was a bloody
kind of.
horror film for a sec there.
Yeah, there's like certain scenes in that cave with the giant where it's just pitch black and you're just hearing the giant breathe and you're going, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
yeah, that's storytelling, that's screenwriting right there.
Yeah, you build that suspense. And I think a lot of what did you think of the sort of designs of everyone? I think Agamemnon was, that armor is sick, man. I don't give a shit if it's nowhere near like historically accurate. That shit is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of harsh critics out there in regards to that. It's not, accurate to what was actually available to them at the time, but it's an adaptation. It's Nolan's
That's right.
adaptation of the story, The Odyssey. It's there for screenwriting, it's there for an engaging, entertaining movie. So
That's right. It's not.
I
Yeah,
I agree with you. I actually didn't have a problem with the armor, with certain people's, aesthetic look. Um yeah, no, and Agamemnon's just that dark, uh Batman like kind of feel to it, really.
yeah. It was so
Yeah, I know
sick.
it that. It just looked intimidating. It looked like, yeah, it was a menacing presence, really.
Yeah, and I think yeah, if anything's going to bring down the movie, I don't think like the props and the sort of design of the characters is something that's going to bother people too much, or it shouldn't, because they did a good take here. Right,
Yeah.
so moving on from the direction, I think yeah that was done pretty well. You can't really fault Nolan for that stuff. So let's move on to the
Mm.
casting and performances. Now there was a lot of controversy at the fucking head of this the movie before it even came out, of like all these fucking the Black Helen of Troy, Zendaya, and as Achilles, but I don't
Tom
think.
Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland, fucking Peter Parker's in here. But I don't think,
Ivan.
other than Tom Holland, who's in the movie a lot, I don't think the rest of that really, it was like 2 minutes, and we didn't really give a shit about that. I think the movie has other problems with it. So, what are your thoughts, Prime Maz?
I thought the casting was a bit disappointing, regardless of 1 or 2 minutes on screen. Um,
Yeah.
it kind of makes or breaks the scene itself. So it works hand in hand with the pacing, that we were talking about before, where some dragged on because the casting just felt off. So you can't actually engage with the scene itself, or you can't sympathize with it, or you can't really relate to it from the previous scene that had, Matt Damon just with his crew, that just felt like you were just part of that crew. You were in with that crew, and letting Odysseus um, lead you, and then you just switch to, as a scene with Robert Patterson and Tom Holland. Just, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. Like, it just felt like it didn't feel right for me. I don't know if it was just overwhelmed with these characters. You're just always seeing these actors in movies more
Oh,
now.
literally.
Um,
It's like, what the hell's going on? Like, we came from Spider Man.
Saturated. These actors have just been saturating the market for all the movies that you just kind of get tired of seeing them.
That's very true. Yeah,
So,
it's not even just like the controversial castings, it's just the regular dudes that are in every fucking movie that we see at the cinema.
yeah,
That's what I was thinking with the scenes with Menelaus as well. I was like, what? Why is the Punisher fucking training old mate over here? What's going on? Yeah.
it just felt like Spider-Man Brand New Day, just putting those two together. It's like, oh, is this Spider-Man and Punisher, or is this, yeah,
Yeah. And I think for the amount of screen time he has, I think Tom Holland really pretty bland performance, man. Like I can't really. He was much better in the Spider-Man movie, and I think he knows a lot more about that other character than this one, because it was a bit flat. It was a yeah. I don't know. I didn't really like him as
well,
Telemachus.
yeah, yeah. Well, he's had about over 10 years to craft Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
So give or take, we can ease into the character of Peter Parker, Tom Holland as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. With this one, it's in the you're in the big leagues. You got to really
And we could
shine
tell.
through.
We could tell he was in the big leagues. We were like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. You could tell he was just a bit. I don't know. Something just wasn't right with him acting as the portraying the actor there, or the character there. whether it was trying too hard and it wasn't coming off real.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I
I
mean, when you
can't put my
yeah, when you put it in context, like this guy has done nothing, like he's not praised for anything except Spider Man. All of his other movies outside of Spider Man have been absolute flops. And for Chris Nolan to give him such a big role in this is, yeah,
yeah.
it's a choice. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, as you said, it's something that he hasn't really had much experience other than Spider-Man. He did a what was the other one? Uncharted? He did an Uncharted one, did he?
yeah, he did Uncharted. That was just whatever. Like, he wasn't
Whatever,
he
exactly.
wasn't
So
really
this is
Nathan
like
Drake to me, but yep,
but hopefully we can he can take this maybe as a lesson and he can still continue to do these like really good. Like he could continue to be in these big movies with really good directors, and we can see how he evolves from this.
that's true. All right.
Mm.
And of course, I've got to give credits to Robert Pattinson for giving me the best line of the movie. Get these beggars out of here! Somebody get these beggars out of here! That was fantastic.
Get these beggars out of here.
That's going into my daily vocabulary. All right,
Very good.
let's move on to the music of the film. And the composer for this score is actually Ludwig Göransson. So he, if you're not aware, Primaz, he did Tenant, he did Black Panther, the first one, ages ago, and he did Oppenheimer as well. And now he's gone and done this movie, and I must say, I think the music is actually the best part of the film. To be honest, like it is
Yeah.
fantastic. It really draws you in. Really unique themes that like sort of align with the times, like flutes and
Mm.
yeah, simple sort of wind instruments. So I think they really
Yeah.
nailed it, and it really sounded great in the IMAX. What about you?
Oh, you were immersed in certain scenes because of the score and the music in it. Definitely. It definitely made you more involved in the movie. It was great. Yeah, I got no faults with the with the soundtrack or with the score and the music that was portrayed there.
Yeah, and I think the final sequence, especially when he's coming home for the like he's in the house for the final trial.
Mm.
He's the music there really carried that. To be honest, like I wasn't really hype, but like the music was hype, so I'm right there with the music.
Yeah. 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 It was all good. Yeah, no
Yeah,
faults at all.
yeah. And in the beginning, we had that dude, black guy, that is Travis Scott. If you didn't know, mate, Travis Scott
That is
doing
it.
some
Travis was
fucking
there.
doing some fiend at the start there.
I was just gonna say that he should have just pulled a little fiend in there, and then
Yeah,
you
why
know,
not? But also,
yeah,
that's like a random. That's also like another thing. Like, why is Chris doing that? Like, why is he casting like fucking Travis Scott randomly in his big epic sort of film? Like, what the fuck's going on? Let him do the music, bro. He's not an actor. You could get some random guy doing this. Anyway,
yeah. I don't have the answer for you for that one. Um, if anything, I would have preferred Drizzy to be
yeah,
a
don't.
celebrity
I don't think
appearance in
so.
there, but hey, it
No,
is what it is.
no.
Well, you mean you don't think so?
I just get the celebrities out of here. That's all. Get these beggars out of here. I don't want anyone too famous in my movies anymore. You know, everything is like, yeah, like you said,
I agree.
saturated as fuck.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree, but I don't think it's going to stop. You're going to see like cameos and small little celebrity appearances moving forward. I think that's the way it is.
yeah, I guess so. All right,
Yeah.
so we're nearing the end of our reviews. So, what would you recommend for this one, Primaz? Would you recommend going out to seeing this one, paying a full ticket, paying a bit for the Mrs. Popcorn and stuff like that, or do you wait for the streaming at home?
Oh, this is definitely a movie. I don't regret watching at the cinema. Even if it wasn't the IMAX one, I would have gone to my local, uh, yeah, cinema just to watch it. Grab a popcorn, grab whoever likes those long movies. Um, yeah, no, it's without a doubt. Just go to a theater and watch this movie. You won't regret it.
Well, that is great.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, mate. And I think, yeah, definitely try IMAX if it's available to you. But yeah, definitely go out there and watch this one. In a world of just digital garbage, you got to support the man Chris Nolan because he's keeping the IMAX format alive, and he's inspiring a lot of young creatives to keep using that format as well. So no, it's good. I think everyone should go out and watch it. Now,
Yeah.
here comes the hard part, Primaz. We've had some sort of drawbacks from this movie. Obviously, it's a good theater experience, especially when you're with the boys. This is one of those war, pump your fist sort of adrenaline pumping movies. Now we're going to rate it out of 10. So where are you looking to start the proceedings? What kind of number are we floating at?
Yeah, I this is very tough because there was a lot of things that they did really well that I absolutely loved, but some of the cons were just, as we discussed, I don't know if they really brought it down a lot. I, I'd I'd probably start it, and we can discuss your views on this. I'd start it at 7.5, and I'm open to bring it up to 8.5, but probably not lower than 7.
I
What are
agree.
your
I
thoughts?
think it is in between the 7 and 8 range, but I think
Yeah.
we have another sort of data point for us, which was Spider Man. We rated Spider Man 7.75, and I don't think it is like much better than that. Like, to be honest, like I reckon it's at like a nice, I don't know, it's at least 7.5, so it's close. It's a great theatre experience. It just isn't like, it's definitely not in the pantheon of Nolan films. It's not
Yeah.
one of his best. It's probably in the bottom tiers.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it doesn't really make, he hasn't doesn't have that emotional sort of impact because you're not really, there's some parts of Odysseus that are like really you can connect with, but like a lot of the stuff that makes him really intelligent, really like charismatic in the original story, you're not really privy to any of that. And it's
Yeah.
just we're going from scene to scene, and he's sort of doing his thing.
I must admit, the ending was pretty ridiculous
Uh, do
with
you
the DC.
do you mean when he was fighting 50 fucking men in a room?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and getting stabbed and everything, and he still comes out
yeah. I
like,
think Nolan's like even in the Batman films, like him filming action scenes with the Batman is not his strong suit. Everyone's just sort of waiting their turn, but it's like I know
yeah,
everyone's sort of a coward in that room in the hall, but it sort of doesn't
no.
translate when you're doing a hype action scene.
You know what it did feel like? It felt like watching the Power Rangers. You know when like all the Power Rangers are just getting ready to fight and then they fight, but all the minions or the ghouls or whatever, they're just waiting for their turn to jump in and get
Oh,
smashed.
100%.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
Exactly. And like we didn't really see that Odysseus was like capable of like doing this throughout the previous like 2.5 hours of the movie either. So we're like, oh, I don't know if he should live here, sort of thing. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Um, Back to the rating though. Definitely agree. It's probably not as strong as Spider-Man, although yeah, as if you haven't seen our Spider-Man review, go check that out. It's not a mere perfect movie either, but it was enjoyable to say the least. Um, I'm happy with a 7.5 if you are.
Yeah, I'm happy with that as well. It's slightly less than Spider Man, but yeah, I think 7.5 is it's a pretty good score in when we're sort of fed shit all year. You know, it's nice to have a nice movie, a nice theater going experience. You know, it's nice to taste a bit of ice cream after I've had shit shoved in my mouth all year. So that
Yeah,
is
exactly.
it's a good score, guys. Not everything has to be the masterpiece, and not everything is like a absolute shit show just because you don't like some of the casting or whatever it is. So I think that's a nice sort of balanced take from the common man's.
I think so, and I think also it's pretty important to tell the our trusted and lovely fans out there that we don't dish out nines willy-nilly. You know, we're pretty grounded in our ratings, and yeah, just gotta let them know that yeah, 7.5 is a very solid rating in our books.
Yeah, basically everything above a seven you should go sort of watch in one way or another. So yeah, I agree, Prime Maz. You know, we've got given the we value our viewers' time. So that's the final score there. 7.5 for The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan. So leave your comments below, guys. Yeah, let us know if we're fucking insane or if you like shit shoveled in your mouth. So yeah, let us know in the comments.